Good morning, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to take part in multiple events at Somnath, Gujarat today as part of Somnath Swabhiman Parv. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference at Rajkot and launch key development projects including Ahmedabad Metro Phase 2 stretch. Fresh protests erupt in Iran as government vows to crack down. Trump says US stands ready to help. And in sports, it is a face-off between the top two teams in the ICC ODI rankings as India clash with New Zealand in the first ODI of the three-match series today in Vadodara. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a three-day visit to Western Indian state of Gujarat, will participate in Shaurya Yatra today as part of ongoing Somnath Swabhiman Parv. The Shaurya Yatra, a ceremonial procession organized to honor the countless warriors who laid down their lives defending the Somnath temple, will feature a symbolic procession of 108 horses reflecting valor and sacrifice. Prime Minister Modi will later perform darshan and puja at the Somnath temple. He will also participate and address a public function in Somnath. And earlier upon his arrival in Somnath, Prime Minister Modi was welcomed by people both sides of the road as his cavalcade traversed through the streets of the holy town. Prime Minister offered prayers at the temple premises. He then took part in Omkar chanting there. Following the prayers, a breathtaking drone show was held over the skies of Prasar Bharati, with Prime Minister Modi witnessing the visual spectacle. PM also witnessed fireworks in the sky, revisiting the historic Somnath. The Somnath Swabhiman Parv, being held from 8 to 11 January, is organized at Somnath. It is being held to remember the countless citizens of India who sacrificed to defend the temple, continues to inspire the cultural consciousness of future generations. The program marks 1,000 years since Mahmud of Ghazni's invasion of the Somnath temple in the year 1026. Prime Minister's participation in Somnath Swabhiman Parv underscores the enduring spirit of India's civilization, reaffirms his commitment to preserve and celebrate India's rich cultural and spiritual heritage. The West Indian state of Gujarat is set to take another major step towards regional growth and investment. Rajkot's Marwadi University will host Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference (VGRC) on January 11th and 12th. Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the summit on Sunday. DD India's Tanvi Taneja reports.
Building on the legacy of 10 successful editions of Vibrant Gujarat Summit, the Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference will be held in Rajkot. It will add another chapter in Gujarat's growth story. The goal is to promote region-specific industrial growth, tap local strengths to align with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of a developed India, Vikasit Bharat.
राजकोट, सौराष्ट्र एवं कच्छ में बहुत ही बड़े पैमाने में इन्वेस्टमेंट आने की हमें पूरी विश्वास है। 11 तारीख को प्रधानमंत्री जी आ रहे हैं। मैंने देखा आज कई युवा साहसिक बहुत ही उत्सुक हैं। उन्हें विश्वास है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ये कार्यक्रम में आने के कारण सौराष्ट्र रीजन एवं कच्छ को एक बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म प्राप्त होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Rajkot VGRC 2026 on Sunday to further the industrial momentum in Western Gujarat. Regional sectors of engineering, manufacturing, textiles, dairy and green energy are set to get greater mileage through the event.
कल प्राइम मिनिस्टर आ रहे हैं हमारे स्टॉल पर विजिट कर रहे हैं, हम उसका स्वागत करने के लिए बहुत एक्साइटिंग है.
Japan, Rwanda, South Korea, and Ukraine are participating in the VGRC 2026 as partner countries. Rwandan students studying at the Marwari University expressed their happiness to see the African presence at the event.
Luckily, our country, Rwanda, is among the partner countries who will be coming here. So we are looking forward to it very much.
This event happening in our school because we are having many ministers and many people coming here. And we are also happy for seeing our country in partner countries. Rwanda, it's also there. We're happy for that.
Wow, this is very good, and it is a great opportunity for the youth and for the businessman. We are very proud that our country, Rwanda, is among the partner countries in this summit.
We are about to experience the biggest event in our school, which is the Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference. Yes, so we are so excited, we are happy because the security are tight. We are seeing how people are going up and down, working effortlessly to ensure that this event is a successful one.
Gujarat, India's third largest FDI recipient, clocked an FDI equity inflow of $5,566 million during financial year 2025 till December 2024. Gujarat's investment model was set in motion during Prime Minister Modi's tenure as the then Chief Minister of the state. And with the template of Vibrant Gujarat, the state's growth story only gets bigger and better.
As India is accelerating its journey towards becoming a global manufacturing and innovation hub, Gujarat is among the top 3 Indian states, setting the lead in turning investment into impact and potential into performance. With camera person Ramakant and Mon Mukut Sharma, this is Tanvi Taneja for DD India in Rajkot.
Prime Minister Modi will host Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz in Ahmedabad on Monday. The German Chancellor will be on an official visit to India on 12th and 13th January. This will be Chancellor Merz's first official visit to India. The two leaders will visit Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. Afterwards, they will participate in International Kite Festival at Sabarmati Riverfront. This will be followed by bilateral engagements at Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar. On the same day, the two leaders will review progress made in India-Germany strategic partnership, which recently completed 25 years. The discussions will also focus on further intensifying cooperation in trade and investment, technology, education, skilling and mobility, while also advancing collaboration in important domains of defense and security, science, innovation and research, green and sustainable development and people-to-people ties. Prime Minister Modi and Chancellor Merz will also exchange views on issues of regional and global importance and engage with business and industry leaders of the two countries. Moving on, India's Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chaired the pre-budget consultations with finance ministers and other ministers representing states and union territories with legislature in New Delhi. Discussions focused on key priorities and inputs for the upcoming union budget. Earlier, Union Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs held 10 rounds of pre-budget consultations as part of the preparations for the forthcoming Union Budget 2026-27. The meeting brought together representatives and experts from key sectors of the economy, including agriculture and MSMEs, capital markets, manufacturing, services and technology. From history to heroism, books have the power to bring stories to life. At the New Delhi World Book Fair 2026, the spotlight is on Indian Armed Forces celebrating their bravery and legacy. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay takes us through the grand 9-day celebrations of knowledge, culture and patriotism.
Books usually tell the stories through words, but at the New Delhi World Book Fair 2026, they tell the stories of bravery, sacrifices and service. As the world's biggest celebration of book has shifted its focus to the valor and the wisdom of the Indian Armed Forces with its unique theme.
The New Delhi World Book Fair 2026 unfolds as a grand 9-day celebration of knowledge, culture and national pride. For the first time, entry to the fair is completely free encouraging wider participation from readers of all ages. On Saturday, the fair was inaugurated by India's Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, along with the Ministers of Culture from Qatar and Spain.
देश में ज्ञान और रीडिंग की इस परंपरा को आगे बढ़ाते हुए इस वर्ष पुस्तक मेला की थीम भारतीय सैन्य इतिहास, शौर्य और विवेक 75 रखी गई है, जो हमें राष्ट्र निर्माण में शौर्य और विवेक जैसे मूल्यों को स्मृति याद दिलाती है। यह प्रदर्शनी राष्ट्र के सैनिकों के लिए समर्पित है।
The fair brings together over 1,000 publishers from more than 35 countries with 600 events and over 1,000 speakers. Spain joins as the focus country, while Qatar is the guest of honor, adding an international dimension to the event. With an expected footfall of over 2 million visitors, the World Book Fair becomes a platform where India connects with the world through books, ideas and dialogue.
And I have authored 4 books in the past 5 years. I mean, it's amazing to see so many youngsters are there coming to visit the book fair, and it's really wonderful to see.
Military history comes alive through books, visuals and storytelling, showcasing major wars and operations like Sindoor and honoring the bravery of 21 Paramveer Chakra awardees. This year's theme, Indian Military History, Valor and Wisdom, at 75 pays tribute to the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force, institutions that have stood as guardians of India since its independence.
See, military history is a very integral part of the literature system. So this particular segment of history has not been showcased much. And now we had Operation Sindoor. We realized why not to tell the complete story of valor and wisdom. And through the power of books, knowledge, discussions, exhibitions and digital content. So this theme has been curated with the term as Indian Military History, Valor and Wisdom at 75.
A key focus of the book fair is inspiring young minds with values of leadership, discipline and patriotism.
I think this is my first time at the book trade fair, and so far it has been a really good experience. I've only gotten to see the Hall 5, but I love the fact that I have all of my favorite publishing houses as well as my bestseller books around here.
You know, the people organized here, they are all in unison. They are talking about and discussing about books. They are talking about learning different concepts. So this in itself is very inspiring for me.
Through books, ideas and conversation, this year's New Delhi Book Festival reflects India's journey as nation. As the theme says, valor and wisdom reflects that courage and knowledge brings a nation stronger. With camera person Viswabandhu, this is Rahul Upadhyay reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. US and allied forces carry out large-scale strikes against the Islamic State jihadist group in Syria. Polls open in second phase of Myanmar elections. And thousands brave winter cold at Ice Fishing Festival in South Korea.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Iran's authorities indicate on Saturday that they could intensify their crackdown on the biggest anti-government demonstrations in years, despite an internet shutdown. Following the protest, Iran's Revolutionary Guards vowed to defend the country's national interest and urged citizens to stay alert to the enemy's plots. While several international airlines have suspended or cancelled flights to and from Iran, as nationwide anti-government protests enter second week, authorities have imposed wide-ranging mobile and internet restrictions, limiting communications across the country. Protests have spread across Iran since December 28th, beginning in response to soaring inflation and quickly turning political, with protesters demanding an end to the clerical rule. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump in a social media post said on Saturday that Iranians were looking at freedom like never before as protests continued to spread across the country, adding that Washington was ready to offer support. The US and allied forces carried out large-scale strikes against the Islamic State group in Syria on Saturday. The US Central Command, which oversees American military forces in the region, said multiple strikes targeted ISIS throughout Syria. However, it did not give specifics on where the strikes took place. The strikes were part of Operation Hawkeye Strike. The Trump administration first announced Operation Hawkeye Strike in December after an IS gunman killed 2 US soldiers and a US civilian interpreter in an ambush in Palmyra, located in center of Syria. Heavy fighting erupted in Syria's city of Aleppo on Saturday, with government forces clashing with Kurdish fighters in the Sheikh Massoud area. The violence has left multiple civilians dead, while thousands have been forced from their homes. DD India's Adarmi Mishra gets us more.
The Syrian army said on Saturday that it had completed a security sweep of the Sheikh Massoud neighborhood in Aleppo, following intense fighting with Kurdish forces. The army called on remaining armed elements to surrender while asking residents to stay indoors. The operation began after Kurdish fighters refused to withdraw from the area despite a ceasefire deadline set by the government. In response, Syrian forces launched strikes, triggering fresh clashes across the neighborhood. Gunfire and explosions continued Saturday, raising fears of further escalation. Authorities warned civilians to remain inside their homes as fighting continued on the streets. Kurdish forces have rejected the army's claims, saying they still control parts of Sheikh Massoud. The fighting has caused a growing humanitarian crisis. At least 21 civilians have been killed since Tuesday, and tens of thousands have fled their homes. Many families were seen leaving the area carrying only essential belongings. The clashes come after talks to integrate Kurdish forces into Syria's new government broke down. The violence is one of the biggest tests for the new authorities since the fall of Bashar al-Assad in late 2024. International efforts are underway to calm the situation, with the United States and regional partners pushing for a ceasefire. The United Nations has warned that continued fighting could derail Syria's fragile recovery after years of war, urging all sides to return to dialogue. Adarmi Mishra's report for DD India.
In other news, US President Donald Trump has said Venezuela has started releasing their political prisoners on Saturday. In a social media post, Trump said Venezuela has started the process in a big way of releasing the political prisoners. He hopes those prisoners will remember how lucky they got that US came along and did what had to be done. The release of hundreds of political prisoners in South American countries is a long-running demand of human rights groups, international bodies and opposition figures, including Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado, who has several close allies imprisoned. Earlier, President Trump signed an executive order protecting US-held money derived from sales of Venezuelan oil after the ouster of Nicolas Maduro, the White House said in a fact sheet accompanying the order. And tens and thousands of people marched through Minneapolis on Saturday to decry the fatal shooting of the 37-year-old woman Rennie Good by a US immigration agent. Demonstrations marched towards the residential street where Good was shot in a car. 29 people were arrested overnight in Minneapolis as police responded to protest. One police officer was injured in the response. Activist organizers said more than 1,000 weekend events have been planned across the country against the federal government's deportation drive. Minnesota congressional Democrats joined thousands of protesters. They showed up at the regional ICE headquarters but were turned away as they attempted to visit people detained at the ICE facility in Minneapolis. Legislators called the denial illegal. As tensions rise nationwide in the United States, protests were held outside the White House in Washington, D.C. Speakers at the Washington protested accused the federal government of overreach and political repression. While mournful Minneapolis residents paid respects to Renee Nicole Good at the site of the fatal shooting, Minnesota Democratic leaders and administration of Donald Trump have offered starkly different accounts of the incident. Federal state tensions escalated further when a United States Border Patrol agent in Portland, Oregon, shot and wounded a man and woman in their car. He claimed that the driver tried to weaponize his vehicle and run over the federal agents. The two Department of Homeland Security related shootings this week have drawn thousands of protesters to the streets of Minneapolis, Portland and other U.S. cities, with many more demonstrations under the banner planned for the weekend. A mass shooting has shocked Mississippi's Clay County, leaving 6 people dead, including a child. A 24-year-old man had been arrested. Meanwhile, Mississippi authorities said Darika Moore had been charged with first-degree murder in killing of 6 people in Clay County. Victims include family members and a local pastor, 7-year-old child, with shootings across multiple locations. Charges may be upgraded to capital murder with death penalty possible pending mental evaluation. The motive remains unknown and the accused is set to appear in court on Monday. In Switzerland, families of victims of a Kokani nightclub fire in North Macedonia held memorial on Saturday to express solidarity with those affected by the deadly New Year's fire at the Swiss ski resort. Swiss authorities reported safety violations in the Crans Montana bar, noting that the premises had not undergone a mandatory annual inspection since 2019 and lacked a fire alarm. Prosecutors on Friday ordered detention of Jacques Moretti, one of the bar's 2 French owners. A court will decide soon whether to place him under formal arrest. Prosecutors are investigating the owners on suspicion of crimes, including homicide by negligence. Victims' families have filed legal complaints over the fire. On to Asia now. Voters in Myanmar queued up on Sunday to exercise their franchise in the second phase of general polls in 5 years. Polling stations opened at 6 a.m. local time in 100 townships across the country. This includes parts of Sangayang, Magway, Mandalay, Bago, Tani Tarel regions. The military-backed Union Solidarity and Development Party is leading by a huge margin after winning 90 of the 102 lower house seats contested in the first phase of December 28th elections, which saw only 52.13% voter turnout, much lower than the elections in 2020 and earlier in 2015. The election is being held in Southeast Asian nation in 3 phases. The first round took place on December 28th in 102 townships, followed by the second phase on Sunday. Final round will take place on 25th January. In all, there will be voting in 265 of Myanmar's 330 townships, including areas where the junta does not have full control. 65 townships will not take part because of ongoing fighting. In sports, the India-New Zealand ODI rivalry is set to light up once again as 3-match series begins on Sunday in Vadodara, Gujarat, followed by matches in Rajkot and Indore. ODI cricket brings back the familiar sight of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli together at the top, adding to the excitement of the series. Meanwhile, New Zealand arrive the fresh-looking ODI squad. Several senior players are preparing for the T20 leg and T20 World Cup. Yes, Paul.
The India-New Zealand ODI rivalry returns once again. A 3-match series begins on Sunday, January 11 in Vadodara. The second ODI will be played on January 14 in Rajkot and the final match is scheduled for January 18 in Indore. ODI cricket is the only format where fans get to see Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli together. Their return to the ODI stage is always special. Both batters are in fine form, adding to the excitement. This could be their last ODI appearance together before a long break due to T20 World Cup and the Indian Premier League. The series also marks the return of captain Shubman Gill. Gill missed the previous ODI series against Australia due to injury, while captain Shreyas Iyer also returns, strengthening the middle order. With Gill and a year back, KL Rahul steps out of the leadership role. India will be without Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah, who have been rested. Despite that, the team combination looked balanced. At the top, Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill will open the innings for India. Virat Kohli remains the pillar at the number 3. The middle order looks settled with Shreyas Iyer at 4 and KL Rahul at 5. This top 5 has been India's backbone for the years and brings stability and confidence. The challenge begins after that. With Hardik Pandya and Akshar Patel unavailable, the all-rounder slots open up. Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar are likely to bat at 6 or 7. Both add depth with bat and control with the ball. At number 8, Harshit Rana could be the surprise package. He has shown promise as a bowling all-rounder and can contribute lower down in the order. In the bowling attack, Arshdeep Singh will lead the pace unit. He will be supported by Mohammad Siraj and Harshit Rana. In spin, Kuldeep Yadav will be the lead option. He will be backed by Jadeja and Sundar. Turning to New Zealand, the Black Caps arrive with a fresh-looking ODI squad. Several senior players are preparing for the T20 leg against India and the T20 World Cup. The series is a big opportunity for the New Zealand fringe players. The two sides have faced each other 120 times. India leads the head-to-head with 62 wins, while New Zealand have won 50 matches. 3 venues, 2 competitive teams, a rivalry renewed. High-quality cricket awaits. Narayan Singh for DD India.
And thousands braved sub-zero temperatures as South Korea's Hwaseong Ice Fishing Festival opened, turning a frozen stream into a winter playground. Bundled up visitors fished through the thick ice, some even catching fish with bare hands. With crowds pouring in, the festival once again showcased Korea's unique winter charm. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan this QR code on your screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.